Greetings. We wanted to touch on the current state of affairs regarding the President of United States. It seems it's now being gossiped about on just about every mainstream propaganda so-called news network these days in regards to the President declaring a state of emergency in order to potentially federalize the Federal Reserve Bank and secure funding for a so-called border wall. The first main point, building a wall will have very little impact from keeping people illegally migrating to the United States. It proposes to simply inconvenience migrants rather than stop them. Much like banning firearms will serve only to keep them out of the hands of law-abiding citizens and in hands of criminals, or just as the result as we have seen with everything that is deemed illegal, such as drugs. Drugs are illegal and yet millions still use. Murder is illegal and yet people are still murdered. A wall will have the same result. These inoculate solutions only serve to treat a symptom of a problem rather than the problems themselves. Now then, on to the proverbial elephant in the room. Trump declaring a national emergency to strip power and federalize the Federal Reserve Bank. While indeed certain aspects of such actions are within the constitutional rights to do, there's only one major problem, and that unequivocally is the established fact that the United States federal government was dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act, March 9, 1933, 48 Statute 1, Public Law 89-719, declared by then-President Roosevelt, as being bankrupt and insolvent. American constitutional republic became a democracy. Many people get upset when their favorite propaganda peddlers in their brand of so-called news refer to it as such, as if they are somehow mistaken or obtuse. In fact, they are correct. It is a democracy. Democracy was referred to by some of the founding fathers as, quote, tyranny of the majority, end quote. It was referred to as this from the basic yet largely unacknowledged understanding that democracy destroys the voice, power and individual liberty of the minority in any matter up for a vote. Democracy was despised by the founding fathers of the United States, and for good reason. The reason is, as stated, in a democracy, the minority loses and has no say. Suffice all this to say, if you believe a globalist New World Order cabal will sit idle and let a puppet president remove power and financial control away from their banking cartel that has hijacked your country by way of monetary corruption of all your officials and government departments, you're sound asleep. If you believe the false hopes of a supposed insider within one of the 17 most powerful and egregious intelligence agencies this world has ever seen is legitimate and has been operating for this length of time undetected or identified and actively going against this threat, again you're asleep. Q is PSYOP, designed strictly to give the most patriotic, nationalist something to remain optimistic about instead of actually fighting back. Why? Because they knew you were all the ones that could actually effect real change and, dare we say, even restore independence. These intelligence agencies are the New World Order's police forces that ensure all of your government officials carry out the globalist agenda. They are the ones that control the direction of your country. They have destabilized foreign countries, orchestrated the assassination of whistleblowers, reporters that dare would tell the truth, President Kennedy, and even had their hands in many false flag events we have seen over the course of our history. Their largest event they were a part of is 9/11, just to name a few. Now through their PSYOP, Q, they have many of you believing that martial law will actually be a sensible action on the basis that they will be arresting so-called deep state tyrants and federalizing the private central bank known as the Fed. This is a romantic pipe dream, and a dangerous one at that. Need we remind you that martial law is one of the items they have tried but failed to bring about with the various riots carried out by Syria's paid political action groups and agents sent to infiltrate legitimate protests in the hopes of escalating them to riots? Any of this ring any bells, or has the last few years erased that memory? Be wise of what you're supporting of solutions proposed by government officials and supposed insiders like this Q. We have warned you all in the past, and we are warning you yet again. You want what we want, we dream as you dream. We wish to end the New World Order and all their elite that are pulling the strings and operating in the dark, but we know that it can't be done by voting or by any politician, because all of those people either support by choice or by force the one world agenda, under the threat of death by the intelligence agencies. They are the enforcers, action planners, the ones steering your corporation known as the Federal United States, steering it straight into the goal of a one world order. Republicans, Democrats, Socialists, Communists or liberal. All these are illusions and only the asleep believe in them. Fight for them, and worst of all, identify with them and use it to attack your fellow citizens that do not subscribe to what you do. This is by design. True solutions cannot nor will ever reside within these illusions. To believe a president and or a supposed insider with what remains of the idea of freedom and liberty is a tough belief to have and put faith into. We will not get another chance. Humanity will not get another chance. As always, it's for us the people to decide. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.